So I've been playing around with Chat-GPT, using it to write some Python arcade code, and I've got a few thoughts that I want to share. I'll start with this one here. I wanted some Python arcade code to do a high score table, and it did this code for me, and I really like it. It's really good code. It's really well structured. It uses this high score table class and puts all of the right functions that you'd want in there, and it shows you how you would use it. So that shows one of the positive sides of ChatGPT. It shows you a good way to do things. However, it is broken. It doesn't work. This file handling stuff here has got a couple of minor details missing. That it just doesn't find files. It looks for this file, it doesn't find it. And other things, if it doesn't find a file, it's supposed to create a new one. It says it's going to create a new one. It doesn't. Obviously, there's no line here to make a new file. And there's a couple of other things that are wrong with it. For instance, when you want to add your name, it says use this input function. We know input doesn't work in Python Arcade. Input is a console command. So that's not the only issue. So that's kind of a first conclusion of using ChatGPT. Is it's really good to give you ideas and structure for making something. But when it comes to actually using and fixing the code, then you kind of need to be able to program yourself anyway to actually fix the issues that come up and understand what's going on. And here's another example. This line here, it says use a lambda function in the sort. That's fine as long as you know what a lambda sort is. But if you don't, and your teacher, when you hand this in for assessment, says, what's a lambda, and you don't have a good answer, then you're not going to get credit for this code. So then I went on to another thing. This was a task I'd set, and I said I want to have coins pop up in random places and disappear after a random length of time. So I went to Python Arcade, and I said, I want that. Can you show me how to do it? I was very specifically said, can you show me how to do this rather than just write code? So then it's kind of talked me through it and the kind of things that you want. And again, it's actually really good. It's got some really useful things to do. Specifically, it does this thing where it makes a coin list, a sprite list of the coins, and then it keeps track of how long they're going to stay alive before they get deleted using a dictionary here. And it actually uses the sprite itself as the key in that dictionary for whatever time it's going to have to live. It's a really good idea. I hadn't thought of doing it that way. It's pretty fun. Saves you from having to do a completely separate class to keep track of a value. But again, of course, it doesn't work properly. So here, this loop, it goes through all of the coins in that lifetime keys list and removes this, how long the delta time, how long it is since we were last here. Checks to see if it's less than 0 and it removes. It all looks right, but actually crashes when you run it, because it just says you can't actually delete from a dictionary you're currently iterating through. So pretty awkward little problem, and it took me a little while to kind of find a way to redo this. It took some reasonable programming skills to really understand, firstly, what the problem was, and then to understand how to fix it. Another example, one thing that it does, it uses this arcade.schedule function, which is cool. I was not aware of this function. So typical ChatGPT is showing you this really useful little thing. Basically, what the schedule does, it says, here's a function. We've got this add coin function somewhere further up, and every 2 seconds run this add coin function. Really helpful, really useful. And yet again, it's broken. So let's just find out where it calls up. When you run it and you go to the add coin, you get this really misleading message. It says the add coin needs an extra argument. And you're like, what's going on? And I had to do quite a bit of background and then find that when you look at scheduling, what it does is it automatically gives it a delta time. So the schedule function actually has a delta time. So in here, in this add coin, I needed comma delta time there, which I wasn't using, but yeah, it needs that. So yet another example of ChatGPT giving you a great idea, but it being broken. So conclusion, ChatGPT is great, particularly if you know how to program. It can be a great time saver and can give you really good ideas and can help you to structure your coding really well. If you are not a particularly experienced programmer and you struggle to make stuff yourself, ChatGPT is really not going to be your answer, because you're not going to have the insights that you need into what is broken or how to use it. Having said that, the one thing that ChatGPT is fantastic at, you should definitely be using it for, is debugging. Paste in the code, this gives me an error, can you tell me what? And ChatGPT is really good at telling you what that error is. Right, that's enough for now.